Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Manchester United are running out of time to find a Solskjaer replacement. So reflecting on that, Manchester United may have to stick with Solskjaer until the end of the season. Now there's been a lot of managers linked with the Man United job. Now Erik ten Hag, he's been spoken about, but apparently he's reluctant to leave Ajax. I've got to admire the work he's done at Ajax. There's quite a lot of United fans that would like to see Erik ten Hag come in. Zinedine Zidane, he's also been mentioned a lot of times as well. Zinedine Zidane is managerless because he left Real Madrid in the summer. He did very well at Real Madrid. He won a lot of trophies at Real Madrid, so reflecting on that, he's got a good pedigree behind him. But he's not yet managed in the Premier League. You know, if he came to the Premier League, would he replicate what he did at Real Madrid? It would be good though for Zinedine Zidane to come and experience the Premier League. But I think if he did come to Manchester United, he'd get us back to that level where we should be at, and he would suit the strappings of the club, and I think he would be capable of winning trophies if he came to Man United. Well, let's put it this way, he's a far superior manager to Solskjaer. Reports from Spain said the other week that Zinedine Zidane rejected the Newcastle job as he's waiting for the Man United or France job. Reports from Spain did say though earlier on this season that Zinedine Zidane was not interested in becoming Manchester United manager if Solskjaer gets sacked, because it did mention that he's enjoying life away from football management. Manchester United have already held talks with Zinedine Zidane. Brendan Rodgers has also been mentioned the other day, like I updated you. Court Offside said that Brendan Rodgers had verbally agreed to become Manchester United's new manager, but his preference would be to wait until next season. Brendan Rodgers is a far superior manager to Solskjaer. I've got to admire the work he has done at Leicester. Brendan Rodgers has won the Community Shield and the FA Cup so far with Leicester. He's been in charge of Leicester for almost 3 years. He's got a contract with Leicester until 2025. Obviously, before Leicester, he managed Celtic. He enjoyed a few years with them and he won a few trophies at Celtic. Before he's managed Liverpool, he enjoyed one good season with Liverpool. Like I said to you before, at Liverpool, he emulated the football he produced at Swansea. He was a good manager at Swansea, was Rodgers. He managed Watford a long time ago and Reading, and a long time ago he managed Chelsea's youth. I think there is some United fans that would take Brendan Rodgers. Maybe there's some that wouldn't take Rodgers with him being a former Liverpool manager. But if Rodgers came to Man United, would he get us back to that level where we should be at? And, you know, would he get the best out of the players? Pochettino, he's still being spoken about. Pochettino is highly rated by Alex Ferguson. Pochettino is currently the PSG manager. We tried to get Pochettino when he was managerless. You know, Pochettino held talks with the club. Tottenham made a big mistake sacking Pochettino, because I thought Pochettino did well at Tottenham, despite him not winning anything. Pochettino endured a 5.5-year tenure with Tottenham, and analysing the vast majority of his tenure at Tottenham, Tottenham were competing in and out of the top four, and he got Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final back in 2018. Ralph Ragnick, if I pronounce his name correctly, he's been spoken about as well. There's been rumours saying he could come in as the interim manager until the end of the season. I think there's some United fans that would like him to become our director of football. And the other day, Roberto Mancini was mentioned, who was the former Manchester City manager. Now, in regards to Solskjaer, yesterday, Solskjaer flew back home to Norway with his family. So, does that stir some suggestions up? Manchester United are considering sacking Ole Gunnar Solskjaer following player revolts. The pressure has increased on Solskjaer following back-to-back home defeats to Manchester City and Liverpool. Manchester United have only won one of their last 6 Premier League games. It did say though yesterday that Solskjaer is expected to be in charge for the game against Watford after the international break. Man United are prepared to give Solskjaer a little bit more time. And Sky Sports said yesterday that Man United have no plans to replace Solskjaer despite the Man City defeat. After the 2-0 defeat to Man City, Solskjaer did say that Man United were outclassed by Man City, and he also said the Man City defeat was a big step backwards. When Manchester United do sack Solskjaer, they'll have to pay $7.5 million, because in the summer Solskjaer signed a new contract with the club until 2024. There's an option of a further year, and we made a mistake giving him that 3-year contract, and a lot of United fans will agree with me on that aspect. Solskjaer should have been sacked after the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool a couple of weeks ago. If Manchester United would have sacked him then, I can assure Manchester United would have got Antonio Conte. Obviously we can't get Conte now because he's Tottenham's manager. But a lot of United fans wanted Conte to come in to replace Solskjaer. The players are not playing for Solskjaer, so that's telling me that the players have given up on the manager, and Solskjaer's also lost a lot of fans. If Solskjaer really cared about the club, he would resign. But obviously Solskjaer refused to resign after the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. Solskjaer's been given long enough at Manchester United. You know, he's been in charge of Manchester United for almost 3 years. And yes, reflecting now on he's been Manchester United manager, he's gained some managerial experience and he's learnt quite a bit on the job. But there's still plenty of things Ollie's got to learn because he is still a young coach. Ollie is not an elite manager. Maybe one day could become an elite manager, but at this moment in time he's not an elite manager. This season is Solskjaer's 3rd full season as Man United manager. And I did say at the start of this season that this season was going to be massive for Solskjaer because he's got big expectations to exceed. The expectations are far too high for him to exceed as Man United manager, and Solskjaer's in a position that he shouldn't be in. And Solskjaer's lowered the standards at the club as manager. I hate to say this regarding Ollie, but I'm just being realistic. Of course, all Man United fans want Solskjaer to succeed as manager, but he's not going to. You know, we all adore Solskjaer, reflecting on what he's done for the club. At the end of the day, Solskjaer is a club legend. He endured 11 years as a player for Man United. He flourished under Ferguson's guidance. And Solskjaer's most iconic moment as a player was when he scored the winning goal in the Champions League final back in 1999. Solskjaer did win the club the treble, and that is the club's greatest achievement. Solskjaer had the proven pedigree when he was a player for Man United because he did win a lot of trophies as a player, but unfortunately he doesn't have a proven pedigree as a manager. But reflecting on Manchester United's poor performances and poor results, not all of the blame stems from Solskjaer. Yes, he's accountable for certain things, but like I've said before, there's also players that have to take responsibility for those poor performances. It's never just all the manager's fault. Ollie knew when he'd taken over at Manchester United it was going to be a massive job. Not only a massive job, he knew it was going to be a difficult job as well, despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. Ole is managing one of the biggest clubs in the world. Solskjaer got appointed in December 2018 to replace Mourinho. He's been permanent Manchester United manager since March 2019, and the reason he got the job on a permanent basis was reflecting how well he did as the interim manager. Solskjaer ran out of excuses a long time ago, didn't he? You know, Manchester United should be doing much better this season because Manchester United have got a very good squad. I'd say it's a title winning squad, so in reality, Man United should be winning the Premier League this season, or at least competing for the league. Solskjaer has received very strong backing by the board, and you know the Glazers and that do continue to back him, even though we've been in a really bad vein of form. Manchester United enjoyed a very good summer transfer window this year, spent £141 million and made 4 signings, brought Heaton in on a free from Villa, brought Sancho in from Dortmund, brought Varane in from Real Madrid, and we re-signed Cristiano Ronaldo after 12 years. Manchester United have spent over £400 million under Solskjaer, and Ollie's enjoyed like 5 transfer windows now as permanent Man United manager. So there you go. When Solskjaer does get sacked, he will be the 4th permanent manager to be sacked since Ferguson, because Man United have already sacked 3 managers since Fergie retired. We sacked Moyes after 10 months. We sacked Van Gaal after 2 years or so, despite him winning the FA Cup. And we sacked Jose Mourinho after like 2.5 years. Mourinho did enjoy 1 good season at Man United because he did win 3 trophies in his first season. I think Mourinho got us a 2nd place finish in his 2nd season. But Manchester United have been playing catch-up since Ferguson retired. Well, a lot of United fans predicted it was all going to go wrong when Ferguson retired, which obviously it has done. No one will replicate what Ferguson did. Ferguson brought success to Manchester United. He won 30 odd trophies, including 13 Premier League titles, but he didn't settle in straight away, Ferguson, because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Man United. So that just tells you that it does take some managers time to settle in. Ferguson endured a 27-year managerial tenure at Man United, so he was a very long-serving manager. The only mistake Ferguson made was recommending David Moyes in when he retired, but the two reasons he did that is because he was both Scottish and obviously Ferguson had a lot of time for Moyes. But look at Moyes now, he's doing really, really well in his second spell at West Ham. So, should we give Moyes a bit more time at Man United? Don't forget he only got 10 months, like I mentioned earlier. Manchester United are going to offload players next year. Pogba, it looks like he's going to be leaving on a free next summer, because it's already mentioned that Paul Pogba wants out and Pogba's refused to sign a new Man United contract. Mark Ogden said earlier on this season that Man United are prepared to let Pogba go on a free next summer after accepting that the midfielder will not sign a contract. Well, it actually said contract talks had been put on hold when it came out and said that Pogba snubbed Solskjaer after Liverpool defeat. But then obviously Pogba came out and denied that. His contract at Man United expires next summer. Before the start of this season, Pogba rejected a new Man United contract offer. Andy Mitten from The Athletic said earlier on this season that apparently Man United offered Paul Pogba £400,000 a week to stay at Man United. That would see Pogba become the second highest paid player at the club. At the moment, Pogba receives around 290 grand a week. By the way, Pogba suffered a thigh injury in France training. Pogba can't play in the game against Watford after the international break anyway because he's suspended, but Pogba's only got one game now to serve in the league out of the 3-match ban he got. He did get sent off for the two-footed challenge on Naby Keita in the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. Pogba did play in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta last week, and I thought he was very poor. He made a lot of errors and he just looked very sloppy. His overall performance was shocking, and reflecting on that, he got heavily criticised. But I do think Pogba is a good player. He's an imperative player as well. He's done well in the league, though, to his credit so far this season. He's got 7 assists. He produced good performances for Man United in the last couple of months of last season, but at one point last season, he was out with a thigh injury for a while, and he has sustained a couple of ankle injuries at Man United. This season is Pogba's 6th season at Man United since he rejoined. He's won 3 trophies at the club so far, and he's our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid £89 million for him. And we had him when he was a lot younger, under Ferguson, but we had to let him go due to limited appearances. I think Matic is going next year. Matic isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but surprisingly, he still gets his chances, and surprisingly, Matic is ahead of Van der Beek in our midfield. I think Matic is the only predominant centre defensive midfielder that we've got. I've got my reservations about Matic. He's always been a static midfielder in his ageing up and that, but despite that, he's had his good games at Man United. Matic has been at Manchester United for 4.5 years now, is it? Got him from Chelsea back in 2017 for 40 million. Before the start of last season, was it? Matic signed a 3-year contract. I think Donny van der Beek is definitely leaving Manchester United in January because Donny van der Beek is not getting enough game time. So reflecting on that, I haven't had much of a perception on him at Man United, but in general he is a good player. Solskjaer has to start Van der Beek, especially in the Premier League, because he's a good player like I mentioned. Van der Beek recently came on in the defeat to Man City, and to his credit he made an impact. He also came on in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta and he made an impact. Prior to the Liverpool game though, Solskjaer did admit that Van der Beek has become frustrated and disappointed with his situation at Old Trafford, and it did say earlier on this season that Van der Beek was furious with Solskjaer. Van der Beek's endured what a difficult 19 months at Man United, and this season is his second full season. Got Van der Beek for what, 40 million with add-ons included. He's got a contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further year, and he's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. Lingard, I think he's another player that's leaving Manchester United next year. Because Lingard doesn't really get in the team. Lingard's looking to run down his contract anyway, because earlier on this season it said Jesse Lingard rejected a new Man United contract offer because of 2 players. His current contract at Man United expires at the end of the season. ESPN said earlier on this season that Lingard was a target for Barcelona and AC Milan. I think Solskjaer wants Lingard to stay. At the second half of last season, Lingard endured a 4-month loan spell with West Ham and he made an impact. But like I say, Lingard's been part of the club for a long time, reason up our academy in that. Cavani, I think he's leaving next year, but I can't say I want Cavani to leave because Cavani's made an impact since he's come to Man United. Cavani's hold-up play is good. His movement in and around the box is good. He creates very good chances and he scores very good goals. Obviously, Cavani is now out with injury until December. He was out with injury earlier on this season. Cavani played very well in the 3-0 win against Tottenham. He scored a very good goal. It was a lovely chip over Hugo Lloris. He also should have scored in the first half of that game because he had a headed chance that just went wide. He was playing alongside Ronaldo, was Cavani. That was intriguing. Cavani and Ronaldo do play well together. Cavani has got under a year left on his Man United contract. It was back in May Cavani signed that 1-year contract extension. We got Cavani on a free transfer. This season is Cavani's second full season. Cavani's got a good pedigree behind him. Look at the amount of silverware he won when he was at PSG. Not only that, he was a long-serving player when he was at PSG. Juan Mata, I think he's definitely leaving next year. Juan Mata doesn't get in the team, does he? Plus he's lost that yard of pace and he's aging up. But despite that, I do think he's had a good career at Man United. Mata's made over 200 appearances for Man United in all competitions and he's scored over 50 goals. Being a long-serving player as well, Juan Mata has endured 7.5 years at Man United. First part of last season, he rejected an 18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. We got him back in 2014 from Chelsea for 40 million. Yes, his contract expires next summer. I can't understand why we extended his contract for a further year. Dalot, I think he's going next year as well. Dalot doesn't get in the team. Dalot is our backup right back to Wan-Bissaka. Dalot will only play when Wan-Bissaka is not available. Dalot was out on loan with AC Milan last season, so reflecting on that, he did gain some experience. We got Dalot around 3 years ago from Porto, paid around £19 million for him. Telles, I think he's another one that's going next year. Telles doesn't really get in the team, does he? You know, Telles will only play when Luke Shaw's not available. Telles obviously came on in the game against City for Luke Shaw because Luke Shaw came off with injury against City. Telles nearly conceded a penalty against City, but he just got the ball, so it was the correct decision not to give a penalty. Telles was out of injury earlier on this season. The reason we brought Telles in was to provide competition for Shaw. You know, we got Telles for 15.4 million from Porto. I think Jones is definitely leaving next year. I think Bailly's going next year as well, because Bailly doesn't get regular game time. Bailly lost his place in the team a while ago, obviously with the signing of Varane in the summer transfer window, and Solskjaer prefers Lindelof ahead of Eric Bailly. Bailly did play against Man City recently and he was horrendous. Obviously City's first goal came from an own goal by Bailly, but it wasn't only the own goal. I think his overall performance was just poor, and I was shocked in that aspect because Bailly put a very good performance out in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta, and he played well against West Ham in the Cup earlier on this season. Bailly's made 3 appearances so far this season. My concern about Bailly though, that he's injury prone. Towards the end of last season, he signed a new contract with Man United until 2024. There's an option of a further year. And I think Dean Henderson is going out on loan next year, because Dean Henderson doesn't get his chances now because De Gea reclaimed that #1 spot back. Henderson's only been in goal for 1 game so far this season. That was the game against West Ham in the Cup. At one point, though, Henderson was out with COVID for a while. So, there you go. Manchester United have got to stop relying on Ronaldo all the time. We are relying on him far too much. You know, Ronaldo saved Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta because Ronaldo netted twice in stoppage time at the end of both halves. You know, Ronaldo also scored the winner in the reverse fixture against Atalanta at Old Trafford. He scored the winner against Villarreal earlier on this season. You know, he scored a very good volley against Tottenham the other week, had a goal disallowed in that game, and he also got an assist against Tottenham. That was his first assist since he re-signed for Man United. Yes, Ronaldo played in the 2-0 defeat to Man City. He was anonymous in that game because he got very little service. But he did have 2 good chances in the game. Edison produced 2 good saves. One of the chances, though, was offside anyway, so it wouldn't have counted. Ronaldo's got 9 goals in all competitions so far since he re-signed. And Ronaldo recently got named Player of the Month for October. So he's got back-to-back awards now, because back in September, Ronnie got named Premier League Player of the Month. So anyway guys, that's everything to update for today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.